A silent voice has no chance at being heard. I know that this is something that I would say most people would know, but actually, I think it's important to remind ourselves of that a silent voice has no chance at being heard. You see, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I think that we want to use our voice, or we know that we have a voice. We know that we have a uniqueness to who we are, and we know that we have a unique perspective on things. But very often we either don't capitalize on that voice, we don't feel like we have an arena to express that voice, we don't feel like we're heard or understood, we don't feel as if though we have sort of grown the capacity to use our voice, or maybe we feel like we don't have the right tone of voice, or maybe we don't feel like we have the right vocabulary or the right tone or the right way of expressing ourselves. So as you can tell, there are many reasons that we can point to for why we don't use our voice. Maybe we even think that the way that we see things is not valid. Or maybe we think that the way that we think right now and compared to what we thought in the past would not be accepted or would not be wanted to be heard. But the thing here is that our voice needs to be spoken. And your voice needs to be spoken. And a silent voice has no chance at being heard. You're an expression of God. You're an expression that is unique. No one will ever replicate you and your voice and your experience and what you've gone through and your lessons. And it's so crucial to speak that, because who knows who might need to hear exactly your voice and exactly your words at the exact moment that they get to hear it. A silent voice has no chance of being heard. In Isaiah 58, verse 1, it says, "The Lord has urged us to use our voices, to cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet." So we are called to cry aloud, to spare not, to lift up thy voice like a trumpet. To think of our voice as an instrument, to think of ourselves as an instrument for whatever to come through us that is pressed on our heart in the moment that it is pressed on our heart. And the thing here is that if we allow for overthinking to limit us from beginning to speak our voice, we might not actually express ourselves. We might not actually dare to use our voice ever. The thing here is that the more that you speak, it's just like a muscle. The more that you raise your voice, the more that you cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, the more that you do that, the more you'll find that it will get easier and easier and easier for each time, because your faith will be strengthened and you'll no longer rely on the the external circumstances and the external sort of motivations of other people, or the external thoughts of what other people think, right? I'm just gonna connect my 4G here on my on my phone. So we'll resume the connection. Let's see. We'll continue when I got the 4G going here on my phone. There we go. So furthermore, beyond that quote right there, that can be really supportive to rely on, that we are actually called to cry aloud, to lift up thy voice like a trumpet. It also says in Proverbs and in Colossians that we also got to be aware of like what it is that we are saying when we use our voice, because our voice is so powerful. It is so powerful that it can shift our own state and other people's state. And it literally can shift the reality, our reality and other people's reality. So when we speak, it's being able to discern how we speak. But what I would say though is that in the beginning, when you start speaking, you are not expected, expected to know exactly what you ought to say. Because as you speak, sometimes you will actually get more and more attuned to what there is to be spoken. A lot of the times when I come on here and speak, I don't know what will come through, but I have a commitment to show up and press live and go live and just speak whatever wants to come through. I might have an idea, but I might not know exactly what and how and in what way I will say it. But all glory to God comes through. And sometimes actually it meets someone's heart and it stirs their heart to think differently and to act differently and to just kind of be humbled, right? So it says in Proverbs 13, verse 3 to 13, good people will be rewarded for what they say. But those who are deceitful are hungry for violence. Be careful what you say and protect your life. A careless speaker destroys himself. And it doesn't take a psychologist or neuroscientist to understand that the way that we speak can either lift the spirit of ourselves and others, or it can destroy the spirit. It can repress it and suppress it, and it can literally kill it in the way that, and you've probably met people in your life, if not even looked in the mirror yourself sometimes and been like, who do I look at? Like, who is this person? What's happened here? And very often it's simply that the spirit is being is literally dissolving. It's like it doesn't get any life force because the words that is being spoken onto oneself in the mirror or just going about life or to other people, they're so harmful that it literally like destroys the life force, the spirit in us. So of course we want to use our voice. A silent voice has no chance of being heard, yes. But when we speak as well, we got to be discerning of what words we are actually using, because these words are so powerful and they can protect you and others, or they can literally make harm. So it's being able to actually like see the purpose here of expressing and of using our voice like a trumpet. That if it's a trumpet, it can be heard from miles away. Does that make sense? Like our voice can be heard from miles away. And what I mean by that is that it transcends time and space. The voice of our ancestors, we are carrying in our hearts right now. That's how powerful this is. In Colossians 4:6, it also says, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. So let the speech be gracious, gracious. Have grace when you speak, which means understand and aim to understand. It will take conscious effort to aim to look at things from different points of view before one speaks. It's emotional maturity. It's having an emotional sort of attunement, and it's being able to have a response rather than a reaction, right? Because if we react, we're easily triggered. We're triggered and we act immediately. Whereas if we respond with grace, we have a sense of grace there towards ourselves and everyone around us, seasoned with some salt in it, right? Seasoned with salt. Isn't that interesting? It says, always be gracious in your speech, seasoned with salt. So it's okay for you to have a little bit of salt there in the speech, for you to be a little bit, straightforward as well, to hit a point, to stir the heart, to go beyond the comfort zone, because this is how we change. It is how really evolution, I think, proceeds. So that you may know how you ought to answer each person. So it's also being able to understand that the reason why we're going about it with grace and seasoned with salt, it's so that we can better understand how to answer every single person in and around us. The point here is a silent voice has no chance of being heard. So if you're silent, there is a platform out there for you. You have a platform right now. You know what? The platform is life. The platform is you living, is you being here in this realm, on this earth. This is the platform. A lot of the times right now, we tend to think that, oh, I need to be on YouTube to speak. Oh, I need to be on Instagram to speak. I need to be on Facebook to speak. I need to be somewhere on a platform externally to have my voice being heard. But your voice is being heard in the silence, okay? In the secret realm, like in your own head. God is there with you, and you can actually notice that your own thoughts and the way that you speak and the voice in your own head toward yourself and other people, that's being heard. It's being heard to some extent, right? But we want to be able to take that and utilize it and express it and speak it. And we can do that in conversations with someone in this reality, with our friends, with our family, with a stranger, with whomever we meet. Your voice is so powerful. You have no idea how many people you've impacted. There are people in my life that is no longer here on this earth that really had an impact on me, that used their voice, literally used their voice. And I remember them and I carry them in my heart. They had an impact on me. They had an impact on the way that I speak, on the way that I express myself, on what I care about. So don't you dare trying to stay silent anymore. Okay? Don't you dare continue doing that, because you're robbing this world and yourself of an opportunity to get closer to God. God is already here, but you'll feel God when you speak. When you speak without the mind, okay? When you speak where sort of the spirit and the mind and the heart, the body, it's all one. And then it's no longer you that speaks. Trust me. You speak from beyond. You bloom beyond yourself. And being able to bloom beyond yourself, when you bloom beyond yourself, when you bloom beyond perfectionism, when you bloom beyond overthinking, and you just hold tight to graciousness, to speaking with graciousness, seasoned with a little bit of salt, there's powerful things that are going to come out of your mouth. And it's not going to come from you. It's going to come from beyond you, because it will resonate deeper with people. It will resonate so deep. So with that, I am sending you so much love, and I will see you tomorrow. Also, you're more than welcome to join the community, the garden as well, which is a platform in which you can begin to practice using your voice to no longer have your voice be silent, but to just allow yourself to be heard, allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be acknowledged. You are worthy of that. You're not entitled of it, but you're worthy of it. I love you so much. You can go to bloombeyond.com/waitlist to come into the community, and I'd love to see you there. So much love to you. See you, see you, see you.